as usual, a lot to cover. But our leadoff story, we're going to start off right with some NHL news. So the Tampa Bay Lightning won their Game 5 matchup 1-0 against the Montreal Canadiens, winning the series 4-1 and winning the Stanley Cup. So overall, how do you feel they rank as one of the top teams, seeing that they went back-to-back? We may have a slight delay. There we go.
Probably, well, it's 50 years or so dead last. So I would say dead last for Tampa Bay. Maybe ahead of Philadelphia from 74, 79. But other than that, I don't see them. I mean, because you look at all the teams that have repeated. Pittsburgh did it in 2016. I mean, Sidney Crosby and and they also did it back in 91, 92 with a better team. So what they did is good. They went back to back, both in shortened seasons, mind you. Not to get anything away from them. I don't want to diminish what they accomplished. It's really nothing. There's really nothing special about this team you go back to
what about
Detroit? Go ahead.
What about the sheer dominance stuff? You look at they had the top 5 point skaters in the playoffs overall. Second best goalie at 1.90 with Valesky. I probably messed that up. And the best defenseman with Hedman with 18 points. So, I mean, overall, they had the top players in the entire playoffs.
Right, and that's what the playoffs do. Is by the time you get the teams that go Stanley Cup, they're the leaders in everyone, in theory. Now, I'm not trying to diminish what Tampa Bay has done. Tampa Bay is really they went back to back. This could be a dynasty, and frankly, if they didn't choke a couple of years ago, they could have had 3 in a row. So, I mean, it's one of those things that you just look back in history, like the Islanders from Mike Bossy. That's a way better team. Montreal, Montreal twice. Pittsburgh. Those teams were better. And it's so hard to repeat now than probably any point. It's just like the NFL. It's hard to repeat because of the salaries first, and that cap really takes hold, and it's tough to gain ground. So you're not going to see.
So what would you say the key factor was for them to go back to back though? What was the key factor? What was the key factor for them to go back to back?
Vasilevsky, he was dominant, and he got a shutout in the deciding game in all 4 series. Like it's like that's it. You're scoring today. We're wrapping this up, and the team came out and they took care of business. They did what the Islanders and the Bruins couldn't do. Islanders or the Bruins would come out and go to the Cup, but they just didn't get it done. And it's on their own. It's their own fault. So Tampa Bay, they took care of business. That's what they did. You got to give the coach a lot of credit. Cooper, he did a fantastic job managing this team.
So we actually did a Facebook poll, got 34 votes. 71% of the fans said that Tampa Bay.
It's now on to next year. The season's over.
So 71% of the fans did pick Tampa Bay to win the whole series. So the fans, for the most part, got it right.
Yeah, we have a big delay. Yeah, I mean, anybody that picked Montreal was delusional. Like, really? I mean, did they think that they actually had a shot against Tampa Bay? No. wasn't happening.
Yeah.
The West can sleep. The
No,
East.
No, I got you. It makes sense. So let's move on to the Olympics. So big announcement by the Olympics. They have announced that there will be no fans in attendance for any events after rising COVID-19 cases in Tokyo. How do you think this is going to affect the athletes?
It's going to be crappy because isn't this what the athletes love the most about the Olympics is winning it for their fans that went to go travel? Like, isn't that what it's all about? Like, this
it's
is
going to be a whole different. Just from the standpoint of, you think about it, that they, it's already been delayed once, due to COVID last year, and now it's no fans in attendance, no family members able to go, to any of the facilities or do anything. So it's a whole different thing. I mean, I'm glad they're getting to compete, at least from that standpoint. They were able to figure that piece out, but it's got to be tough for these players, these athletes that, looked forward so much to doing this with their family and having their family in attendance.
Yeah, I feel for the athletes. I really do, and they're the ones that put time and effort for the past 5 years to do this for their countries. And now imagine, okay, so like, this is a big country. We have a lot of athletes. Imagine those smaller countries that have only, like 3, 4, 5 athletes going. Like, this is devastating for them because this is it. This is their country's heroes. You get those 4 or 5. Some countries only have one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a shame, but I mean, they have to be safe. Obviously, the rising cases, I guess it's one of the lowest numbers they've had in quite some time. We'd hate to see the athletes actually, have some kind of issue where they get sick based on the fact that, they weren't able to contain it due to that. So, I mean, it makes sense from Tokyo standpoint, but it just, your heart's got to break for some of these athletes who, they may not have another shot or opportunity at this again.
Yeah.
And not to be able to do it with your family is going to be tough. So let's talk some NBA basketball. So we're in the heat of the finals now. Phoenix Suns have taken care of home court, winning both games at home. They have a commanding 2-0 lead in the NBA Finals. Can the Bucks come back in this series?
I mean, they can, but they need help. It can't just be Giannis just getting 42 points and then the rest of the team does nothing. I'm looking at the numbers. Middleton with 11 points, 6 boards, I believe, and 8 assists. Yeah. That's not enough. That's not enough.
16% from 3-point range. 16% is not going to help Giannis. Yeah.
He was terrible. And Lopez only had points, who has been, really important to this team. If he's not going to show up, then it's over. It's over. Meanwhile, on the other side... No, go ahead, Eric.
No, so in the NBA, they always talk about those big three. And if you look at it, Bridges, Booker, and Paul. In the game 2, 27 for Bridges, 31 for Booker, and 23 for Paul. Everybody's contributing. Ayton got a double-double.
I was about to say that.
They've got a solid team.
Absolutely. I think they're very well balanced too. Now that, it's just Phoenix from the West, we have a chance out here to see this team play more. And it's amazing to actually watch them go through the games. Like, this is such a good team, and I don't see you being able to beat them.
No.
I don't see it going further than that, really.
Yeah. We did a Facebook poll. We got 54 votes. 72% of the fans picked Phoenix to win the series. So right now they're looking like they nailed that one. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, I was one of them.
Yeah, they always know that you don't really know a playoff series till the opponent wins on the on the opponent's home court. So let's see
Right.
what happens when you go back to Milwaukee now. Does Milwaukee be able to take back, and even up the series? That's where the key is. If Phoenix can win one of these two games in Milwaukee, the series is over.
Right. We'll definitely
Major League Baseball All-Star Game coming up July 13th. So Major League will be holding their All-Star Game with the American League, obviously, versus the National League in Denver, Colorado at Coors Field. What are you looking most forward to?
Oh, a weekend from baseball.
How about Ohtani? Ohtani, who's going to DH and possibly pitch.
I am looking. Look. If that happens, if they let you this, that would be the thing. Besides the fact that we have 5 Red Sox players going, and, being a Sox, that's exciting. But I'm more excited to see Ohtani pitch and DH in the same game. Like
right.
That would be great if baseball can do that.
And think about these young players that we're going to see. Guerrero Jr.
It's a shame. It's yeah.
Right, Guerrero Jr. Tatis. You got these young kids.
You off, Eric, but there's a way that they can still have him bat by getting rid of the pitcher, like getting rid of the DH by doing a switch. Pitcher has to hit.
Yeah.
And there's a way you can do that. I'm not positive, though. It would have to make sure that Ohtani doesn't start, though. That would be the only way.
Yeah,
they
I don't think he can come back in. Yeah.
They have to pinch hit for it. So you'd have to do that double, then put Ohtani in as the pitcher for that. That's not to do it. So he wouldn't be able to start. And, I mean, there are worse things in life,
So I am also excited that it's in Coors Field. So you think about just the long ball and how it travels out there in Denver. So, I mean, we should see a lot of runs scored, I would think. I mean, it just –
yeah.
It's like the perfect storm right now. It's, you got all these young, great hitters, and the way the pitching's been we know the substances and them not being able to pitch as well since that whole thing started. We should see balls flying out of this park left and right.
Well, being in Colorado, I mean, you would expect that no matter what, especially with all the great hitters in this game. I mean, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., like, to be honest, better hitter than his father. He's good. He's good. Just let's see if he can sustain it as long. There's a lot of young talent, especially out of that team. Bichette. There's so many great players that you're getting to see for the first time, really, because a lot of places they only know their home team players for the most part. But now you're going to be able to see these guys from like the Midwest that you don't normally see, from Milwaukee and St. Louis and out west in Arizona. We're going to be able to see some of these players, and there's a lot of great talent that is very young, and they're going to rise to the occasion. There's a lot of veterans that did not go to this All-Star, and there's a couple like in Washington, Scherzer, and there's that outfielder in India. What is his name?
Bryce Hopper?
Yes.
And then
and who's actually having a decent season, but
and who Schwarber who ended
on that field.
Schwarber got injured, so he's not going to be playing in it. Like, he was having a monster June, so that was a shame there.
Bad for him.
Any other players that you felt maybe shouldn't have been on the team that got on the team?
Juan Soto for a little while. I wasn't sure about it. Like, Muncy was there, a baseman out there that that was better than Muncie this season. But then I looked at all the numbers, and I'm like, you know what? No, I think the managers got it. I think the teams got it right.
Overall, I thought it was pretty.
Like you had.
Yeah, that's the only one I would question is, you know what I mean? His June has been horrible. And, you think the voting started around June, so I don't understand what the fans are seeing or what the managers were looking at because, I mean, he can't pitch his way out of anything right now.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's, like normally regular season, we would be looking at this and picking it apart. Like, there would be a glimmer of players that were snubbed. This year, I don't see that. I think, for the most part, they did a really good job. I think there's a little too many Washington players on there. But did they earn it from, last year? Yeah, maybe. And they're still good players. It's not like they're having bad seasons. So, I mean, I think it's a pretty good job.
No, baseball did it right. You can't say that too often, so we'll give him a kudos for once.
Yes. How about that, huh? Now if they can only extend that substance rule.
Yeah, at some point. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. All right, we're going to go on to our new segment, the triple play. And we did it a little different this one. I know usually we do, start, bench, and cut. But we're going to do hire, make an assistant, and fire. So it's these three NFL coaches. And the coaches are Bill Belichick, Andy Reid, and Bruce Arians. So it's your week to go first. So who you're gonna hire, who you're gonna make your assistant, and who you're gonna fire.
Well, this was actually pretty tough. At least for us and firing. Like hiring head coach is going to be Bill Belichick. I mean, until somebody shows that they can put together crap and make them into something, then more power to you. But I'll take Bill over any day of the week, any year at this point. So the decision assistant, I gave it to Bruce Arians.
Wow. That one surprised me. I just think,
it's like he did a good job in Arizona, and to win with players like what they had at quarterback. We won't crucify all those quarterbacks that he had to win with. I just think he's a really good coach that when he has that talent, he's not going to squander it. And that's what I feel that Reid does. Like, I'm sorry, he should have 3 Super Bowls right now. He should have 3 of them. And what are you doing? Like, there's some questionable calls, and he did it a lot with the Eagles, and he's still doing it. I think the team won despite him being head coach. A couple of years ago. So I would definitely get rid of him out of the bunch.
All right. So I agree with you on the Bill Belichick hire. I think at this point he's just proven that from a just coaching standpoint, by far the best coach probably in the history of the NFL. His general managing skills we could just debate all day long, but we're talking about coach.
That's what I refer to as starting with crap.
Yes.
Because he does it to himself.
He does. Assistant coach, I did pick Andy Reid for a couple of reasons. I just think that if you look at what he did with the Eagles, going to 3 straight NFC championships games, getting to the Super Bowl, back-to-back Super Bowls with the Kansas City Chiefs, he gets his team far enough at least to be in contention every year. Does he make some questionable calls? Yes, that probably cost him where he didn't get to the Super Bowl or could have possibly won the Super Bowls. But I still think he's a better coach than Bruce Arians. The only reason why Bruce Arians is even in this conversation is because of Tom Brady. Because Tom Brady basically went to Tampa, changed the culture, made him understand that he had to let the quarterback, who obviously knew more and was more experienced than he was on making better decisions to win that championship. I don't think Bruce Arians won that Super Bowl. Tom Brady and what he did won that Super Bowl. I actually got
to give you credit for that. Yep, I agree with you. You changed my mind. You changed my mind.
So, Bruce Arians has been around for quite some time. Yeah. And Arians been around for quite some time and done a lot of good things. He's a good coach. But Andy Reid is definitely has a better resume when it comes to just getting his team to the Super Bowl and everything else. So, hey, but that's why we do this, baby.
I looked at it a little differently. I went to see what Bruce Arians did with what he had and felt, that way. But you explained it that way. That was all Tom Brady's Super Bowl right there. I think he was the coach.
Yeah, he catalyst. He was the one that basically
you are right on that
which players he wanted, what he wanted, how he wanted it, how they wanted the offense run. That was all through Brady. So go Bruce.
Yeah, fans,
you're on the list, but you're fired.
Know what you think.
Fired. He's fired.
Let us know what you think.
Done.
You're fired.
Once again, if you're joining us, we're on Rhode Island Broadcasting. We're on every Friday night at 6 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Follow us on social media on Facebook and Twitter at Sports Unfolded, on Twitter at Broadcasting RI, and on Instagram on Sports_Unfolded, and on podcasts on Anchor, Spotify, and Google. So a lot of different ways to watch us, a lot of different ways to listen to us. So we appreciate all the support and all the feedback. We're going to move on to some NFL and a lot going on with the New England Patriots right now. N'Keal Harry's agent has requested a trade from the New England Patriots. What should the Patriots do in this situation? I love it.
Like really, I mean, first of all, like how bad have the Patriots drafted receivers?
Oh, it's been atrocious.
I'm not saying this guy isn't talented, but
he is not talented.
But
let's go with that right off the bat.
Like, who the hell is he? Who the hell is? Nobody cares. Nobody gives a rat's ass about Harry. Like, he's not going to get traded because he's going to trade for again an 8th round pick.
Yeah, like, nobody wants him.
It's like going to get cut.
They literally have said, I heard
he's going to get cut. If you kindle it, then get out.
6th round draft pick is right now what I heard was on the table. You think about that. He's a number 1 draft pick 2 years ago. You're lucky you're going to get a 6th round draft pick for him. It's ridiculous.
Like study. Freaking study.
So
you've had plenty of time now.
I'm going to go over some numbers here. So in the 2 years he's been with New England, 45 receptions, 414 yards, 4 touchdowns. He was in 1 playoff game, had 2 receptions for 21 yards. So I started to look at it, and I said, wait a minute, maybe he wasn't in the game. He was in on 67% of the offensive snaps during that game against Tennessee.
Get open. Get open.
He stinks. He's a joke. The fact that he's asking for a trade, when you're putting up numbers like that. So I went and I did some more research, Ron. I'm going to name off 4 other receivers that were drafted in the 2nd round, which is after him. Okay? Deebo Samuel went to the 49ers. In the 2 years, he's had 90 receptions, 1,193 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He was the number 36 pick. Harry was 32. A.J. Brown went to Tennessee. 122 receptions, 2,126 yards, 19 touchdowns. He was number 51 overall. McCole Hardman went to Kansas City, 67 receptions, 1,098 yards, 10 touchdowns, number 56. The final pick in the 2nd round, DK Metcalf, went to Seattle, 141 receptions, 2,203 yards, 17 touchdowns, number 64. You want to trade with 45 receptions in 2 years. These guys killed you.
Yeah. And I don't care. I don't care who it is. You're not going to tell me that getting open and somebody just wasn't throwing the ball to him. He wasn't getting open. He wasn't
Ron,
trying to get open. You know,
as much as you know
he's just
how I feel about Tom Brady. Yeah, if you can't win with Tom Brady, you can't win at all. And he had an opportunity with Tom Brady. And I'm guaranteeing you, he probably was the biggest reason Tom Brady decided he didn't want to stay in New England. Because he's like, if this is going to be my number one option, I'm getting out now.
He could have. Because, like, yeah, I mean, you see the writing on the wall with all these receivers. Look, it takes a special kind of talent to seed a receiver in New England. We know because there's some stars that couldn't do it in New England, you know. So it takes somebody not with a pure skill, but the brain. You need to have a brain playing in New England because, yes, it's a complex offense. But if you work at it, you'll get it. And a few years and you can't figure out yet, then you got to go. You got to go. But you're not going to get traded. You're going to get cut.
But do you? So
because you ain't gonna make it anywhere. Maybe you can trade him to Calgary.
From this standpoint, though, do you look at it as a failed pick again by Belichick when it comes to that GM role?
Yes, it has to be. How could it not be a failed pick for Belichick as receiver again?
And then look at it. Look at those second round draft.
Like you got to get a player to be able to comprehend.
Like you can't tell. DK Metcalf would have been such a better pickup.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
All right. I mean, the track record is look. The draft has
the way
never
he looked,
been.
He could play linebacker. So that doesn't bode well for your boy Mac. I'm a little nervous now.
Now, if I was Harry, I would say, "Hey, look, maybe I'll stick around to see with Mac Jones." Just saying. That's what I would do. Because you ain't gonna get anything.
But
you're not gonna get anywhere that matters.
This is why Cam Newton's going to be starting week one.
That's another thing. No.
You don't want to go over that again?
It's going to be his best pick ever.
So we did have some breaking news with the Patriots as well with Stephon Gilmore. And I don't know if you've gotten to see it or not, but he did come out and recently speak about the contract dispute on how he felt, and basically he was just saying that he wants to get paid what he feels he's worth. And every player should want to get paid what they're worth. What do you think is going to happen with this situation with Stephon Gilmore and the New England Patriots?
I think what Bill is going to do, he's going to wait till the cuts start happening. And he is going to see what is left out on the field, off the field, with other teams. And there's a player out there that he likes that can give him what he wants. And then sign that other player. That to me is probably a typical Bill move.
But do you think that's a wise move? I mean, Stephon Gilmore is probably the best cornerback on the team.
Well, I didn't say it would be wise, but that's a typical Bill thing. You know, if he can get a player that is comparable, then he'll do it to save the money. I don't know why, because he's like, they invested all that money this year, and they spent like crazy this year, and then you're going to get rid of your top defensive player. It baffled me that. I would just rework a deal, probably give him a longer contract. I mean, it just makes sense. I hope they keep him. I want them to keep him. Because if they keep him, I mean, where are they going to throw the ball against the Patriots?
No, J.C. Jackson on the other side, another good solid quarterback. Yeah. So, it doesn't make sense. I think Bill knows that the window's closing.
Especially with all these quarterbacks out there, you know? Like, you got to play Brady. You know? You're going to have to play Buffalo. You're going to have to play Miami, who have quarterbacks that can throw the. You have your corners and your safeties in place to compete with those teams. If you want to beat the Patriots, you better have a great defensive back. Like those backs have to be top notch because Brady will pick you apart. You know this. You've dealt with him doing it to other teams. So you need to have that in place because if week 4, whoever is quarterback goes and loses to Brady, they're never going to get over it. Never.
So I look at it this way too. To your point, there's a good possibility that we're going to be starting a rookie quarterback at some point during the season. You're going to need a solid defense. It just doesn't make sense for him not to try to make this work because if he lets him go, and I mean, I like J.C. Jackson. I think he's a good cornerback. But it also helps when you had Stephon Gilmore on the other side to kind of take the
Gilmore's
pressure away
the leader.
from him. So you know what I mean? So that you're asking a lot from a kid who really hasn't shown that he can do it consistently like Gilmore. So I'd be interested to see how this pans out. So we did a Facebook poll on the Super Bowl and who would repeat, Tampa Bay or Kansas City. And 41 votes, 54% currently believe that the Kansas City Chiefs will go back to the Super Bowl before the oh boy, that was a Freudian slip, before the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Do you agree with the fans? I just it's
no. No, I don't agree with the fans.
Tampa Bay?
Look, yeah, I would have to think that Tampa Bay goes back. I think they're going to go back because, look, you already eliminated New Orleans from the pick. That was one of your best competitive teams. All right. Green Bay may not know Rodgers, so they could be eliminated from the picture. So you've already eliminated some of the teams, and you only have to worry about really one division, and all those good teams are going to beat up on themselves, and that's the NFC West.
What about America's team? America's team.
Nothing out of the East. What are you going to have?
Hey, by the way, before you go on any further, when we did our face-off and you said they were irrelevant, they are now on Hard Knocks. America wants to see them. I win my case again. But go ahead.
No, you can't claim a win a week after. You can't do that. You lost.
I won it the first time. I won it again. That's what I'm saying.
No.
But to your point, the NFC West. Go ahead.
So, yeah, it is Tampa Bay and the NFC West. That's basically what it is because Minnesota is not winning a Super Bowl. They're not getting to the Super Bowl. Chicago is not getting to the Bowl. So you're looking at whoever can battle it out and come out of that NFC West. So what? The Rams with Stafford, they're going to win the Super Bowl? Like really? So what? Seattle and Arizona? I mean, come on. Tampa Bay's definitely going back. Kansas City now has
an interesting team, though.
Yes, I know. Do you think they're going to make the Super Bowl? Come on.
They could.
No.
I mean, J.J. Watt, Chandler Jones, A.J. Green. You got DeAndre Hopkins.
Might be the team that goes
Murray,
up against Tampa Bay. They'll probably be the team that goes up against.
So who does Kansas City have to worry about?
Super Bowl. But Kansas City have to worry about Cleveland. They have to worry about Baltimore. They have to worry about the Bills. They have to worry about, of course, New England. Have to worry about. I'm forgetting somebody there. Not Pittsburgh, not Tennessee. I can't know who the team is. but there's somebody else that I'm forgetting. But no, they had. Look, they almost lost to Cleveland. Cleveland got better. But that team is a good team.
You're also assuming Baker Mayfield's going to take another step. Josh Allen may have hit his peak. We know Patrick Mahomes is legit. Like, there is no question.
Yeah, but if he just do what he gave you last year.
Now, remember, they bulked up their offensive line, Kansas City. They made sure that's the one area they would. Who's a couple years away, probably.
I agree. So, I think there's some teams that can give Kansas City a tough time. I would be like
last team to repeat.
Not, no.
Last team to repeat in the NFL, the 04-05 New England Patriots.
The Patriots
hasn't been done since. It's not. It's right. One of the hottest things to do in football.
The last person to do it, Eric, was Tom Brady. Where is he?
And then, but he couldn't do it again with New England when they tried to make that run. They lost to Philadelphia. So again, it's not easy to do, and it's very rare that a team makes it 3 straight Super Bowls. Which the last team to do it was New England.
Yeah. Again.
But
that's why he's the GOAT. The man doesn't age. I want to tell you, I'll take Tom Brady, if I was a betting man, and I'm not, I would my money on Tom.
But I also look at this
too. On him.
Gronk very rarely plays a full season. Antonio Brown's had injury problems. So some of those players that he's going to be counting on may not be there. Mike Evans.
Yeah, they might not be there for the first 6 weeks.
So I don't know. It's so hard to do. I'd be shocked to see them go back again and win it. But
you give those players the first season off.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll win it again, but I'll bet that they go back. They go
so
back.
54% currently say Kansas City. We'll see how that turns out. What time is it, Ron?
It's pick and roll.
Pick and roll, baby. Just roll with it. All right, so this one's a fun one. We're going to rank these 5 movies that have 5 famous athletes in them. So O.J. Simpson in the Naked Gun series, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in Airplane, Michael Jordan in Space Jam, Bubba Smith in the Police Academy series, and Terry Bradshaw in Failure to Launch. You're up first this week, my friend.
All right. So we'll just say that former athlete probably don't go into movies because they're,
for the most part,
they're really, look, I'm sorry. I don't even like Space Jam. So
yeah, we know how you feel about Space Jam. Although you will, is that a plug for July 16th, Space Jam 2, starring LeBron James?
No. I'm not even going to not even letting them. So, number 5, I have Kareem.
In theaters, in HBO Max.
Airplane. Wait, are we ranking movie or the
actor?
Are we ranking
movie, not the movie.
The movies or they're in the movies?
The actor in the movie.
The
movie.
Well, then
oh boy.
Then I got to change my thing around. So,
every week.
So number 5, I will still put Kareem. No, you know what? Not Kareem. I will put Bubba Smith at number 5.
Wow.
Because I like the police.
No.
Look, I like the Police Academy series, but he's not a good actor. He's not a good actor.
Okay, go ahead. Keep going. It's your list.
What
I'm gonna
stay silent. What did he do in those movies? He was just a big and intimidating cop looking, it's so he really didn't act. Number 4, I have. Oh gosh, I have Jordan in Space Jam. Like, come on, if we're just acting abilities, sorry, it's not good.
Okay.
You know, the movie, like, I had that at 1 if it was the better movie of a bunch. It's not. It's acting ability. Yeah. So number 4. Number 3, I have Kareem. And I know why. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was in Stand, the original Stand miniseries, and he played the guy that was ringing the bell that you see out on the streets in New York. Bring out your dead! Bring out your dead! I know it's a different movie, but I like him, and I put him at number 3 because of that.
Okay. What are
my
we doing?
list. My list.
Okay. All right.
So number 2, I have O.J. Simpson for his acting abilities. Actually, pretty decent. He was pretty decent.
Yeah.
Like,
agreed.
He might be the best actor of all the athletes overall. Of course, now he's acting in a different place, probably doing, little skits for his friends. But number 1, I have Terry Bradshaw because, like, if it wasn't for Terry Bradshaw in that movie, I hung myself. I hate that movie. It was so terrible.
Wow.
Come on.
Wow.
It sucked.
Okay,
it had a good ending. The movie sucked. Yeah. But Terry Bradshaw, like, he's so funny. Just facial expressions. Like, he was awesome.
Yeah. No, I think
number
really
1 to Terry Bradshaw in failure of a movie.
Okay. All right. Let's get a real list now.
I still say could have been in there.
Jim Brown could have been in there. I couldn't find a movie that I really.
Zombie movie.
I'm gonna get you, sucker.
Shaq.
That was a good movie.
In Blue Chips.
Blue Chips, Shaq. Yeah. Are you done? Or you want to keep going? How many more you want to add to the list? You did it last week with your hockey. No hockey movie that you want to throw a athlete in. Go ahead.
No, that's it. That's all.
You don't want to.
That was an oversight by the
Cam Neely in Dumb and Dumber when he spits in the cheeseburger in the hamburger. Great scene.
Yeah, but that's just a little bit thing. That's a bit.
Your boy Cam. I was trying to give you a hockey guy. I tried to give you a hockey guy.
Yeah, but it's
all right. And
it's a cameo. It's a cameo.
Cameo. That's cute. Very cute. You might want to trademark that.
Yes, it was a cameo.
At number 5, I have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in Airplane. I liked him. I love the Roger thing. Roger, what? Roger. Like, I thought it was great. And then when the little kid was like, I know you. My dad says you don't play, defense or whatever. And the guy, he finally snaps and like, listen, I've been listening to that stuff since I've been at UCLA. Try following, Bill Walton around the court for 48 minutes and see how your father would do. Like, I thought it was cute. But overall, didn't really have an impact to the movie. There was so much going on. I don't think he was a main factor of that. So you talk cameo, I could say that was more of a cameo role for him. Agreed with you on Michael Jordan, Space Jam at number 4. I think it was more about the animation than it was the live acting. I think that's what made the movie click is that,
absolutely.
Yes, he was the biggest superstar in sports, but it was more about the animation. I had Terry Bradshaw at 3. I agree with you. I think he made the movie, but it was a good cast. Sarah Jessica Parker, Matthew McConaughey. But the fact that he was willing to bear it all in that movie, think about that. Like, how many guys would do that? I mean, he made sure you got to see his
Terry Bradshaw is a funny man,
right? So I thought that was great.
Man.
Like, I thought he was a good dad role for him. It worked.
Yes.
At number 2, OJ. So Nordberg, right? He was in all 3 of the movies, so I thought he was obviously a pivotal piece to each one of the movies because they made sure he was in all 3 of them.
He's actually a good actor.
And he was.
He's a pretty good actor.
I mean, he was a good analyst. He did a lot of good things until he didn't. So we'll just let it be
His greatest role, though, is his acting ability in court.
We're not doing this. We're not going to do it. Nope. At number 1.
Wait, let me get my gloves.
Number 1, Bubba Smith. Police Academies. 6 movies, Ron. 6. Can I even get it?
He made 6 movies of them.
Do you realize he got promoted to lieutenant by the end of the 6th one? Like, he had an impact in these movies where he became the lieutenant. You can't say he didn't have an impact in the movie. He was the lieutenant. He was a vital part of these movies. Vital part of the movie.
I agree with that.
So you can't just discourage that he couldn't act well. He obviously, if he was in 6.
Doesn't make him a good actor.
They promoted him.
It doesn't make him there.
He got promoted.
It's in the script.
Lieutenant.
It's in the script.
That's like going from key grip to director on a film. Key grip to director. That's what he did.
Oh, come on.
So again,
yeah, I know what you're gripping.
Pick and roll, always mine.
Gripping at straws in this theory. You did not win that. Get out of here.
Once again, if you're joining us, we're on Rhode Island Broadcasting. We're on every Friday night at 6 p.m. on Facebook, on YouTube, and Twitch. Follow us on social media on Facebook and Twitter at Sports Unfolded, and on Twitter at Broadcasting RI, and then our podcast on Anchor, Google, and Spotify. So a few different ways to watch us, follow us, feed us with some information that you'd like us to cover. Last week, Mickey from Connecticut gave us a topic, and we'll definitely cover them if you give them to us. So we appreciate all the feedback. Ron, face-off time. It's that time again where we're going to argue a topic, and then we're going to debate on who wins it. And I usually win.
We've been arguing a lot today already.
I am.
You don't win. You win 25% of the time.
So this week's face-off is about the Boston sports teams, and should they be considered should Boston be considered a top sports town still currently today? Since you go first, I'm going to let you pick if you're for or against it.
Oh, I guess I'll go for it. I guess I don't know.
So you're saying they are still a top sports town in current sports. Okay, whenever you're ready, my friend. And it's a 2-minute quick fire. We'll just keep spitting back and forth.
All right. So first of all, you're in Boston. By default, you're already one of the top cities, because of the fact that you have all the major sports, including soccer, including rugby.
Right now,
so
rugby.
By default, you are already a sport town because of that fact. Now, then you throw in
the
New England
Patriots. The New England Patriots.
Patriots are always relevant.
Yep.
Since Bill has been there, they're always relevant. And you know this. Don't even argue that. The Red Sox are always relevant.
Cam Newton. Cam Newton stinks. Are they going back to the Super Bowl? Cam Newton? No. Boston Bruins choke every year in the playoffs. Every year, bro.
Well, it might not be Cam one, but they're always relevant because Bill got done somehow, some way. Last year, he let the team go with what it had. It is a top sports town because people want to play for the Bruins. People want to play for the Red Sox. People want to play for the Celtics. Oh, well, maybe not Celtics, but want to play for the Patriots.
So there you go.
I'm not saying they're the top. I'm not saying that they're the top spot, but you said, are they still one of the top sports cities? Yes, they will always be, because there will always be a demand for these teams. Always.
Boston has the most passionate fans. I'll give you that. We are very passionate about our sports and our teams. But what I'm saying is, do you really feel like you can say there's a legitimate contender to be a Super Bowl, a World Series champ, a Stanley Cup champ, an NBA Finals champ that's in this town now in the next 5 years? Which one?
Actually, absolutely. First of all, Boston Bruins, like underachieved.
We're not doing this.
Yes,
they choke
did.
every year. Every year, since 11, they've choked.
No,
10 years now.
Look,
you told me they'd be in the cup
finals this year. Cup?
You told me they'd be in the finals this year.
Yes,
they had the best team. Choked.
Yes, and they should.
Okay.
Yes.
2019, Tom Brady, greatest quarterback of all time, loses in the playoffs in the first round. Boston Celtics haven't won since 07.
Top sports. How does it?
I don't think they have a legitimate contender that can win
sports.
There's not a team in the next 5 years you feel like, hey, we can make a run with these teams.
Okay, first of all, being in Boston makes you a contender every year for everything.
You did not believe the Boston Celtics even had a shot this
because they can turn the switch and they can get a player just like that.
So the Celtics, you didn't believe.
Make the other three teams chumps. Just the
Do you feel the Patriots are going to make the Super Bowl? The Patriots are going to go to the Super Bowl.
Doesn't mean that in itself is not.
Okay.
I think the Patriots the Super Bowl. I said that. All the players that they went and an idiot at quarterback could win with this team.
You just said don't put Cam in because he's going to ruin them.
Call them an idiot. But
can Cam win with them then?
No. I said that. I even said when
right now.
Look, with
I wish
all those Patriots made, I told even Cam Newton can win with this team. Go look it up in that NFL episode. You go look that up.
Okay.
Look it up. You watch it, and I said that they can win with Cam Newton. It would be better with Mac Jones because he's a better quarterback, but just
all right.
Hey, if Trent
we're going to go on to our
win a Super Bowl, Newton should be too.
Oh boy. Good point. Prediction time.
Right?
So on 7-11, game 3.
Hey. Wait,
game 3.
Before you go further, Eric. Before you go any further. We have our special guest is finally able to connect with us.
Okay. All right. So we're going to go to our special guest.
All right, here he comes. He's coming in.
How you doing? Welcome.
Let's what's unfolding.
Hopefully you can hear us.
There is a slight delay, so bear with us. Uh-oh.
We cannot hear.
Hold on.
Uh-oh. All right. We're going to try this again.
See if I can... There is such a delay. Here we go. Let's try this one more time.
I cannot hear him. The joys of...
Give him a moment.
The technology. You can't hear us either.
It could be a delay here. Oh, he can't hear us? Okay, so that's not good.
No.
All right, so I'm going to try something, so bear with us, fans.
All right.
And this delay is absolutely killing me. So let's try this.
All right, any luck? No. All right, we're going to...
go on with prediction, and let's see if we can figure this out with Jawad.
All right. So on 7-11, we have the Suns at the Bucks, Game 3. Suns are up current 2-0.
Oh, we just learned. Okay, so Suns are up 2-0. Yeah, this is. I'm going Suns all the way with this. I think Milwaukee will get one at home, but I think it'll be Game 4 that they win at home. So I'm going Phoenix.
Yeah, right. I'm going Bucks. I think this is the game they win, and then I think Phoenix takes the next 2. Closes it out in 5. That's my prediction. By the way, you won last week, 1-0. July 13th, the All-Star Game, American League versus National League.
I'm going with the American League. I think because of the DH factor, I think they're going to have some better power hitters in the game, like JD and a ton. If he played defense, I guess to be as DH.
Is it not National League rules? Because it's in a National League park?
Yes, but they will. They might allow Otani to be DH, so that would be pretty.
I'm
awesome.
going National League. I just like
and I think he's
I like
great.
Yeah, I'm going National League on that.
So
here's a new one for us: UFC 264 on July 10th, tomorrow night. Pure versus McGregor. The trilogy. Both have split the first 2 fights.
As much as I want McGregor to lose this one, I think he's going to win.
Wow.
It's just his turn. I think it's his turn. I think he's done. I think he's is done. It pretty even?
I think
you'll wait.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. So, unfortunately, we were having some technical difficulties with our guest. We're trying to get him back online as we continue to work on that. But we are next week's show. We're going to be talking about the Major League All-Star Game. We'll break it down a little bit, discuss some of the things we enjoyed, maybe some of the things we saw we didn't like. We may have a possible NBA champ by next Friday, so we'll discuss them and what the NBA future looks like for some of the other teams. And our pick and roll, carrying on with our face-off theme, we're going to rank the top 4 Boston teams next week and their importance to the sports town. Ron, are you still with me? I may have lost Ron as well.
I'm still here. Okay. I hope I'm still. No, I'm still here.
You are. So before we go on to our final thought, do we want to take one more attempt at our special guest?
Yep,
you are joining us. We are live. We're on Rhode Island Broadcasting.
Hopefully, can you check and see if he can hear us now? And it's a go, so we will be joined.
Hey, how you doing? I can hear you now finally.
Oh, there we go. That works. That's pretty
good.
Yeah.
This works better this time.
All right. I don't know what was going on. I apologize about that.
That happens. That's technology.
Yeah, you never know sometimes. So yeah, definitely glad to be on there. And thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us. So once again, we're being joined by the Massachusetts Pirates. Please correct me if I say this wrong. Jawad Yatim.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. That's pretty good. And most people don't get it on the first shot. So.
That was all me, baby.
I certainly appreciate it. So no, that was a good job, man.
Excellent, excellent. So, real quick, if you could give us maybe a background about yourself and then obviously how you got involved with the Pirates.
Yeah, just I'm a local. Grew up in Shrewsbury in the Worcester area.
Okay.
Played a couple seasons of arena football and just decided to start a team out here. It's a pretty exclusive product in the area. We're the only team in New England. So it just kind of presented us with an opportunistic project, so to speak. So we took advantage of it. Decided to stick around here in Mass. That obviously has a rich tradition and culture in professional sports. So, it's a very competitive market, but one we're glad to be a part of. Our first season was back in 2018, and we're going into year 4. The third season, and we're certainly growing, and just glad to be a part of it and chipping away, and looking forward to tomorrow night's game.
Awesome, excellent. So you wear many hats for the organization. Does it ever become difficult to juggle them, so many positions? So you're currently the founder, the owner, president, and general manager. So a lot of titles there.
Yeah, and I handle. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, but it's honestly, in the arena football world, it's not too uncommon either. There's smaller front offices, and so a lot of people wear different hats. It's pretty typical, but I mean, I'm one of the owners, along with my father, and then I run all the operations here in the day to day, and then handle the player transactions and the coaching transactions, and handle corporate partnerships as well. So it is a lot, but that's part of the reason we got into this. I wanted as man in the industry and gain experience. So I'm certainly doing that. There's no doubt. There's a lot of experience to be had, and I'm certainly getting it all. So,
of the 4 titles, which one do you feel is the most difficult?
Anything football related is pretty easy. I would say the business side of it is definitely more of a difficult task. I'd say the president is from an operational standpoint, and a business standpoint, definitely more difficult than the football. The football is kind of the easy part. Yep.
So originally the team, if I read correctly, was in the Arena Football League, and now you're in the Indoor Football League, the IFL. What caused that move? What made you move or make that move?
So essentially, we signed a 3-year agreement with our previous league, the National Arena League, and that's the league we were in. With teams like Orlando, Carolina. It was more of a, geographically, it was more of an East Coast league. But yeah, we had signed a 3-year deal. Going into our first year, our deal was up, and just the IFL is it's I would say more of a well-run organization, more of a well-run entity. Geographically, it covers more ground entry.
Mm-hmm.
It's been around longer. It's more staff. From an operational standpoint, they do a great job, and we just, truthfully, I wish all the teams would just come together in one league and not integrated, because I don't think the sport's big enough for it. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the gist behind it. We want to be that first team to make that jump, and then show other teams that you can be successful doing it. So we're the first true East Coast team in league history, and we want to be that pillar organization that kind of gets a trend going. Hopefully we can get the rest of these organizations from the East Coast on board, but we'll see. But yeah, we're happy to be part of the Indoor Football League, man. It's a great league, a great competition, and we're happy to make the move.
Excellent. So you did mention you were the first team in the East to join the league. Geographically, has that created any problems, from a team standpoint of having to travel, do any of that stuff, or is it pretty well managed?
Well, we're 4-1 on the road, so I don't think, it's been too tough.
I was going to check it. Yes.
So, I mean, right now, I guess we prefer playing on the road than at home, but, we'll change that. There's no doubt about it. But I would say, flying down to Jacksonville and flying to is no different. It's or flying down to Orlando and flying to Texas. It's the same. So, I is it a little more expensive? Yeah, but I mean, like I said, we're pretty exclusive in the area. There's only
Yeah.
3 teams in the whole Northeast, anyways. So, we're used to getting on flights. I think we maybe busted games like time since we started the whole team. So, we're used to flying. It's pretty much the same thing for us. So, we got no problem with it. Our performance hasn't taken much of a hit. As we've done pretty well on the road this year, so we don't mind. It's cool seeing some of these other cities and checking these places out. I like to go a day early or stay a day late and kind of see them for myself. But yeah, it hasn't been too bad.
So, how are players acquired? Is it a draft? Is it tryouts? I mean, how does that process work?
So it's all free agency, and then they're all 1-year deals. So as soon as the season's up, we'll own the rights to these players until about about October. They're restricted free agents, and then they become unrestricted, I believe, in February, January. So yeah, it's all free agency. It's a grind. This time of the year is kind of a slower time of the year. For me, which is different from a lot of the other roles. But now it's just more roster management and kind of executing what we had planned throughout the whole off season. From a business standpoint. But yeah, it's all free agency. It's a lot of reaching out. You're making a lot of cold calls. A lot of sending a lot of messages out, and you might get a response from 20% of the guys you reach out to, and then you kind of dissect those lists, and the lists keep getting smaller and smaller, and all that. So it's a lot of work, man. A lot of talking, communicating, a lot of research, a lot of watching film, and going through different transaction lists, and yeah, it's a fun part. I'd say I enjoy it, but it's a lot. It is, but yeah, it's all free agency. So I wish we had a draft. We'd do pretty good in it.
Yeah, that sounds like it's got to be difficult to get continuity with the team. Obviously, players changing every year. That's got to be kind of difficult.
Yeah, and it depends. I mean, some teams, have a lot of continuity in the sense that their guys are returning every single year. I mean, with us, since we've been around, a lot of our guys get picked up out of the leagues. So we don't really have, like, when the XFL comes back around, or when the CFL starts getting kicked back up, we're gonna lose some guys. So it depends. If you're a team that is attractive to some of these other GMs and scouts in these other leagues, and you're definitely gonna have new teams year in and year out. But if your guys aren't getting picked up, then they'll be back next year.
Great. So obviously, we're from the New England area. Your former coach is New England Patriots, Patrick Pass. What can you tell fans about his coaching style?
He's laid back. He's pretty reserved. He's quiet. He likes to kind of be in the background, and he's taking a good mentor role. With some of our younger coaches, we have a pretty young coaching staff. Our defensive coordinator is in his second year of the job, and he's a young guy. Our offensive coordinator is doing it for the first time. So, he's just been a good mentor to these guys. Helping them out, and with people like that, people like Sam Adams, who I speak with all the time. It's just try to dissect their brains a little bit and kind of talk about the experiences they've been a part of, and some of the perspectives that they've seen, and you just try to build it. You just try to grow your knowledge, build your knowledge, and try to gain as many perspectives as you can, so it helps you make decisions. But yeah, he's been a good mentor. He's low key, man. He's in the back. You don't see him too often. You're watching the game or whatnot, but he's definitely doing his job. And he's a great guy, man. He's been around since day one. He really has. So he's just been either an advisor or just helping out. But this year he took on the head coaching role, and he's done it. He's done it quietly, though. That's for sure.
Oh, right. So no Bill Belichick in him.
Not too much. I mean, he's definitely more vocal. He's definitely more vocal, in practice when the cameras aren't around and all that. But come game time, he's just in his own little world, and he's just doing what he has to do to get so.
Excellent. What should fans expect to see when the team takes the field each week? What is your outlook on what the team should be?
Yeah, I mean, we just want to put an product out there, because it's more than football; it's a business too. So, we got to be able to compete with some of these other products that are in the area, and they're all pretty good. They're all really good. So, we gotta keep par with them. We try to put out as exciting as we can. A team that flies around, plays with passion and energy. A team that wins, that's been big for us is just, winners here. We definitely don't want to be a loser in New England because, you stick out like a sore thumb. So,
Yes.
but yeah, just a team that cares, a team that plays hard, a team that plays with
About the
energy.
Boston area.
What's up? I'm sorry. I didn't hear that,
Oh,
but
I was saying we just had that discussion about the Boston area being a top spot.
yeah, it is. It makes for a competitive market, and you
Maybe
just got it. It makes us better
maybe
at
I'm
what
the
we
one
do.
that's in
I'll
a
tell you
dilemma.
that much. No, but it makes us better at what we do. We wouldn't want it any other way. There's no doubt about it.
Excellent. So once again, if you're joining us, we are live on Rhode Island Broadcasting. We're with the Massachusetts Pirates, Jawad Yatim, founder, owner, president, general manager, so a little bit of everything there. Appreciate your time tonight. We do have one final question. You do have a game
Yes,
tomorrow
sir.
night against the Bismarck Bucks
Yes,
at
sir.
the DCU Center in Worcester, Mass.
Yes,
So
sir.
like you
Yep.
said, you're 4-1 on the road, 1-2 at home. Can you tell the fans, are we going to get a victory at home this week?
That's the plan, man. That's the plan. We've made it a point to let our guys know that hey, we owe it to our fans, we owe it to our sponsors, our partners. We owe it to the people of the area that to put on a show and get a big win tomorrow. It's unexcusable to be below 500 at home. It's just unexcusable. So we look forward to getting back to 500 at home. Getting a good win tomorrow. But it's one thing to say it, we still got to do it. So we got to show up tomorrow. We got to execute, play hard, and give our fans something to enjoy and bring them on back next Sunday against the Rattlers.
Outstanding. If the fans do want to, is there a way to tune in, or where can they purchase tickets?
Yes, sir. So our tickets are available right now on Ticketmaster. You can call, or actually the office is closed now, but you can email contact@masspiratefootball.com, and inquire about tickets, and we can help. And then you can also just go to the arena and buy them at the box office, the DCU Center box office. And then as far as watching it, our games are live streamed on YouTube. So if you just go on YouTube and type in Massachusetts Pirates, you'll see our game. And then the game is also rebroadcasted 3 times the following week on NESN as well. If you miss a game, you want to catch it. So it'll be on NESN too. So just check your local listing times, and you'll see us on there.
All right, outstanding. Jawad Yatim, I do appreciate your time tonight. Thank you for joining Sports Unfolding.
I gotta check this out.
But I appreciate your time.
Yes, sir. No,
Good luck with the rest of the season. I wish your team well. Thank you.
No, yes, sir. Thank you for having me. I appreciate being on here, and wish you guys all the best. And make sure to come check out a game.
We definitely will. Thank you so much.
We will. We'll plan on it.
Take it easy.
Take care.
Yes, sir. Take it easy. Bye.
Yeah.
Well, that was a great interview.
Well, that was exciting, Eric.
Yeah, Jawad Yatim, a lot of different ways to watch the Massachusetts Pirates. So that was kind of cool to find out about another local team in the area. So another just avenue for fans if they really want to catch some football. The Indoor Football League, a lot of good players and very exciting. So just keep tuning in for that. Ron, we're going to go into our final thoughts. You're up first, my friend.
All right, my final thought, being the hockey guy that I am, I have to tip my cap, even though I'm not wearing it today, to the Tampa Bay Lightning. I almost said Bucks, but it's the Lightning. For their second championship in a row. I did not want you to win a second in a row, but you played my well. So by default, I was happy to see you win because I do not want Montreal to ever win another one. So thank you, Tampa Bay, for doing what the Bruins couldn't do this year.
My hockey guy, the hockey guy. Once again, if you're joining us, we're on Rhode Island Broadcasting every Friday night at 6 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook and Twitter at Sports Unfolded, Twitter at Broadcasting RI, and podcasts on Anchor, Spotify, and Google. Check out our new show, The Wrestling Den, every Thursday night at 6 p.m. on Sports Unfolded as well. So those guys are really talking wrestling. A lot of good stuff. Next week's episode is the top 25 tag team in wrestling history. So that should be an interesting 25 through 1. So we'll see who's the number 1 tag team. My final thought is actually on the Surfside, Florida condo collapse and, that devastation and, just the heartbreak of how many lives have been lost. So 64 lives have been reported dead so far. 76 are still unaccounted for. The crews are still working to at least make sure they get answers for these families. But it's just a sad tragedy to see those families. Our prayers, our thoughts go out with you. Hopefully, again, you get at least some answer to, this tragedy and can get through it. The country is behind you. We wish you all well. That's my final thought. And we're going to check out, Ron. You take care. You have a great night. Fans out there, take care. Thank you for joining us tonight. Once again, thank you for Massachusetts Pirate, Jawad Yatim, for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.